Hey,
How you doing,
John.
bud? How are you, buddy?
I'm excellent because I'm speaking with a fellow Long Island native. Is your day going fine aside from having to talk to media people?
Well, actually, hearing your accent is all like warm and fuzzies for me, buddy. So, are you on the island now?
Yes, Long Beach, New York. Did you spend summers
Oh,
here?
I did. My grandmother used to have an apartment building, 6 flats right there. And I used to spend summers there. She wanted to rent the apartments, but she didn't. So, my aunts and my uncles lived in all the apartments. And I would
And
go spend the summers there in Long Beach.
wow, and Joan Jett lives on our block now. I'm sure you managed plenty of gigs for her at the Troubadour.
Many years ago, we did actually. You bet. You bet. Well,
Oh,
it's great to talk to you, Darren.
yeah, likewise. Before I delve into all that, Bar Rescue, over 200 episodes now. MASH, I believe, was like 251. Did you know outright that you were going to be going this far and this long into the show when you started it?
No, I didn't even think the show was going to get picked up. I was excited. I was doing a pilot, Darren. I mean, I made a pilot, man. How cool is that? So
Super
flying
cool.
home, and then when we were picked up, I never thought there'd be a season two, three, four, or five. So it's now almost 12 years. 220 some odd episodes we're in right now, and it's unbelievable. It sort of feels like I've been hugged by America in a strange way, Darren. It's amazingly flattering that people take their time to watch me on television is the most flattering thing that's ever happened to me. So, I'll shake every hand, I'll hug every fan, I'll send every picture of anybody who sends notes to us. And I'm just incredibly appreciative of everyone for supporting me all these years and watching us.
Well, this is intended to be a compliment. Your success reminds me of Steve Schirripa, where he was this behind the scenes success management business guy, and then just kind of got the bug of, oh, I'm going to entertain. When did people start telling you? Because I know you were a drummer in a band first. When was it that you decided, hey, I'm going on camera?
It's funny. Steve's a buddy of mine, so he and I do relate to that story. I was a bar guy. I had won a lot of awards, and I was very well known in my industry. And I was doing speeches around the world, and I'm giving a speech in Las Vegas. And somebody comes up to me after the speech and says, "You should be on television." So I wrote up this document called "On the Rocks," which was a cross between Mission Impossible and Kitchen Nightmares. But I would have files of mixologists that I
Sure.
would pick from and start my mission team and then get dropped in. And so I had done consulting work for Paramount licensing before for Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. So
Hmm.
I went to my buddies at Paramount and I showed them my write up and I said, "What do you think?" And they looked at me, and I'll say it cleaner than they said it to me, Darren. They said to me, "John, you will never freaking be on television. You're too old. You're not good looking enough. Forget it."
No, disagreed.
So I drove out of the Paramount gates that day and said, "I'm going to do this myself." I shot my own scissor reel, sent it to 4 different companies, uh, uh, got it picked up, it released on Spike. And then the ultimate ending to the story is I'm on the Paramount Network now, which is all full circle to the entire thing. But no, I never thought this would be in my life. I never planned on this being in my life. It just goes to show you. John Lennon once said, "Life is what happens when you make other plans," right?
Yeah. And you've also had success with the Taffer's Mixologist brand. Still active, still going with that?
Still going with that. We're doing fine with that. And our Taffer's Tavern restaurants are growing. We're opening in DC in about 60 days, in Boston in about 90 days. So that's going really well. We introduced our first frozen food product line for Costco under Taffer's Tavern brand. So you'll see more products in Costco on that brand in the next few months. We've been very successful there. So there's a lot going on. And the trick is to only do the things you believe in, Darren, and only do things that you would give to your own family. And if you maintain that kind of a standard and don't sell your name or license your name to anything that you don't run, that you don't control, and that you don't believe in yourself, that's how you protect your brand. And I've been very, very conscious of that throughout the process. So I don't license my name to people. I don't do any of that kind of stuff.
Well, Bar Rescue had a great season where you just visit Vegas locations. My wife and I are back to Vegas in about 36 hours. Where do we get your cocktail of choice, the Godfather? What's a great spot or two for that?
Well, Lavo is a great spot for a great Godfather, but there's a number of other spots in Vegas. The Chandelier Bar in Cosmopolitan is a great mixology bar. Vespa is another great mixology bar. All of those will make a perfect Godfather for you, buddy.
Wow. Okay. Long Island question for you. The
Yeah.
year that you graduated from your high school in Great Neck, Kenneth Cole graduated from the other high school. Did you know Kenneth Cole in high school?
I did not know Kenneth Cole. He went to North, I went to South. I didn't know Andy Kaufman either, who actually graduated, I guess, 2 years before me, but was in the school when I was. No, I never knew who he was. And I've never met him, actually.
Wow. Okay. Great Neck, Jewish geography. Sometimes it's now, the Troubadour, as I mentioned before, you were there in what we can say are the coolest years aside from the Laurel Canyon stuff. Did you have a lot of time around David Lee Roth, Stephen Pearcy, all the greats like that?
I did. But we also, that was the time of Adamant, Black Flag. All those bands were playing then when we ran a Troubadour. But at the same time, the new wave thing was hitting. So the Knack would be playing the day after Black Flag, which, you want to talk about differences in entertainment. It was a very, very exciting time in music in those days. Music then wasn't done by producers. It was done by musicians. And they weren't computerized instruments. They were real instruments, and they were real recording sessions. So it was a very different time in music. And, I got to watch all those people perform on those stages, from Springsteen to all those wonderful, wonderful musicians over the years, including guys like George Carlin, who we got to see on the stage as well.
And as I alluded to before, drummer. When's the last time you picked up a pair of sticks and drummed?
I'm going to surprise you. 5 days ago.
5 days ago, entirely for fun, or could there be a secret album, or you're playing at an opening of one of the Taffer's Tavern locations?
I have a really good friend, Jeff Gans, who's a maestro bass player. He's played with Johnny Winter and everybody, and he's been talking to me to do some kind of a road show. I have a full drum set in my house, a big full drum set, double bass set, and I play all the time in my house. It's an important escape for me, and I have entertained doing something again, to possibly go on the road and do a few shows with somebody, but we'll see. We'll see.
Wow.
I got to tell you, I can still fake it. I don't have my chops like I used to, buddy. I don't have the speed that I used to, but I can still fake it and keep time. So I could sneak through it if I had to.
Are you a better drummer than Dice Clay?
I would say yes.
Dice Clay takes credit for reuniting Guns N' Roses, but hey, you were around the scene around that same era and all that. Were you a hair metal guy, or are you just a punk rock guy that happened to be around the hair metal?
I was really more of a rock and roll guy, to tell you the truth. I just happened to run the Troubadour during that era. So I got to know all those guys, and I was a part of it. But, I was as much a part of classic rock and alternative rock and even folk rock. And I loved music. I took music lessons for 9 years when I was a kid. So drumming was a serious thing to me. I could read music. I could write music. So, I looked at music in a very, very broad way and was appreciative of all types of it. So, to this day, anytime I get in my car and playing the drums on my steering wheel, I'm always playing and thinking music. There's always music in my head, Darren, all the time.
Well, going back as my last question to something you talked about, how this is all unexpected success for you, now growing and growing and growing. Are you the kind of person that says, now that we're here, we can go further? Or is it just all, icing at the top, cherry on top kind of stuff for you, and you're not really pursuing stuff?
Oh, no, I want to take it further. I totally want to take it further. There's bars all over the world. There's a global opportunity here, which we're talking about. But absolutely, I want to take it further. I want to introduce new technologies, new systems, new procedures. I own the only patent ever issued by the federal government for music management to achieve a desired ambiance in a hospitality property. I'm a nutcase when it comes to music programming, video programming. I mean, Taffer's Tavern, it isn't music, it's curated music, curated video content. So I'm nuts about these kind of things. So I'm always creating new things that we can bring to the business to make it better. And I really enjoy doing that. So yeah, always bigger, always better, buddy.
Well, you remain to me the hybrid of a Jerky Boys character and David Lee Roth, and I love it. So I'm looking forward to whatever's to come from you in the future. Congrats on episode 200 something, and hope you surpass MASH in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you, Darren. Great talking to you, buddy.
Paltrocast.